Hi guys, we're the Street Shooters and welcome to our very first video review on the brand new Puma EvoSpeed Trix 1.2 firm ground soccer boots. So for this review, we will be focusing on the technical specifications of the boots, touching on how they are expected to perform in-game. However, do note that the full-length, in-depth performance review will be out shortly once we have prolonged and extended testing of the boots so that we bring you the most in-depth and detailed testing of the boots possible. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the review. So let's start with the appearance of the boot. The Puma EvoSpeed Trix 1.2 firm ground offers a very striking appearance. As you can see, one is blue in color and the other is a bright pink. On first glance it may not seem all that attractive, but the more we look at it, the more we like it. And right now, we really like the appearance. On the World Cup, you can actually see that these are the boots that will really pop out on the field simply because it is so unique. As you can see, on the lateral side, it features a classic Puma logo with a tapering off here. On the back, it has the Puma EvoSpeed branding. On the medial side of the boot, it offers the Puma branding here, again with the tapering off effect. For some people, they might be turned off by this advertising gimmick, so they put it, but we feel that it adds a very nice aesthetic twist and aesthetic addition to the whole boot, and it actually works very well, making the boot look very unique and very cool. The tongue features the Puma EvoSpeed tab with the Puma EvoSpeed branding here as well. So let's now go into the technical specifications of the boots. So looking at the upper of the boot is made using Puma's proprietary and very own monolayer monofiber material. It's actually a very thin material and it actually offers a very premium barefoot feel that people who like very light barefoot feeling kind of boots will actually love. It's actually also very soft and very flexible right out of the box. You can see here how flexible and just how soft it is. The upper is actually also coated, as you can see here, with a star-shaped glossy sort of material that offers a very nice touch on the ball. It gives you enough grip without being too sticky, which is something that all of us may not actually like. It's too sticky. So this offers a perfect amount of grip, especially when you're trying to get a ball out of the air or getting touches or simply dribbling the ball. It offers a very nice feel, and together with the softness and flexibility, offers a very unique experience. So the tongue itself is actually made with mesh, with a bit of synthetic material here as well. It's perforated and offers a very comfortable experience. The mesh is very soft, it conforms to the arches of your foot, and pressing against it, it creates a great lockdown effect. But it's not overly tight nor overly loose, and so it provides a very comfortable feeling throughout wear, which is something that's very unique for a pair of speed boots, if you want to put it that way. For the lacing system, Puma has opted for a thin kind of lacing system here, and this is a very great addition where we are concerned. This is because the thin lacing system allows for a great lockdown effect when you pull it tight, and it allows the boot to be very responsive. It hugs every arch of your foot, and by doing so, every push off, every kick feels just smooth. It feels very smooth because it's as if it's one with your foot and with your body movements. Looking at the inner material, it's actually made for the heel. It's actually made using a nubuck kind of suede kind of material, and this offers a very anti-slippage kind of effect, which is great because it prevents blisters and it allows you to not lose that crucial few seconds or even half seconds when you're making quick lateral or quick cuts. Inside the boot, again, the tongue is lined with mesh, which is very comfortable, but of note is Puma's EvoFit cage, if you can see here. This yellow color EvoFit cage material offers great lateral stability. It adds an additional lining to the super thin synthetic material, and this allows you great lateral stability when you're making quick cuts or generally doing very agile movements that require a lot of agility. So with this kind of addition, it offers again a very responsive feel and offers that one-to-one feel, meaning the boot to your leg. There are not many other boots that are out there offer. And it's something that we really like about the Puma EvoSpeed. So now let's talk a bit about the insole. The insole is actually made specific to the Puma EvoSpeed. So as you can see here, the insole is actually lined again with a cloth/mesh kind of material, makes for great comfort, not a lot of slipping, in fact no slipping at all. And the foam is made of a very high grade sort of material, very soft, very plush, very comfortable. To us, it's a very premium insole, and Puma has done something really great with this. What really impressed us was the fact that, look at this, the flexion point is actually in all directions. So this allows for a very comfortable fit and a very natural movement in spite of the responsiveness that the boot offers, which is something that's very unique. You will see later on that this is actually reflected in the actual traction outsole itself, which is amazing because it shows how integrated the whole boots are, but we'll go more into that later. Also about the insole, there's actually an arch here to allow for very great arch support, and it's something that we really like about this insole. Going back to the boots, you can actually see that there's this heel counter. It's actually quite soft, but it does what it's supposed to do. It allows you very great support at the back, so when you're trying to push off, it allows non-slippage and it allows the boot to just basically stay on your feet. It offers some degree of protection as well. As you can see, it's hard plastic. So there are not much frills here, and it does its job the way it's supposed to. Looking at the outsole, now this is where the Puma EvoSpeed actually shines. If you can see, it's actually using a elastomer plastic sort of material, especially for the forefoot and the midfoot. But for the hindfoot, the heel, from the midfoot to the hindfoot, Puma has actually used this thing called a speed track, which is actually a very rigid sort of material that's used to add responsiveness to the overall feeling of the boot. If you remember the Nike Mercurial Vapor 9s, you will notice the two rods that add extra rigidity, and this provides much of the same, except this is plastic, and it feels that much lighter. The elastomer here is also made of plastic, so it does not heat up during very hot days. The general traction and outsole is a very light and very well-performing outsole. The studs themselves are something unique that I would like to talk about. So if you look at these studs, they are conical studs, and it's for speed boots. If you think about speed boots, you think of the Mercurial Vapor, you think of the F50 ID0, and these boots all have bladed studs because they maintain that bladed studs give you better traction, better push off, better sprint off. While bladed studs do give you that effect, the Puma EvoSpeed has actually gone in quite a different direction, but achieving the same effects and arguably even better. So what they have done is to actually change it to conical studs, right? As you can see here. But what they've done with these conical studs is they've made it longer, allowing you that much more penetration and that much more grip, which is essentially what the bladed studs offers. So with this added aggression, but because it's actually conical, it allows you greater maneuverability when it's in the ground, once your foot is planted in the ground. So it offers you the best of both worlds in this particular traction pattern. We must say that we're very impressed by this. For this particular system, we were talking earlier about the dual flex system. You can see the dual flex branding right here. And it again offers movement in all planes and does not encumber your movements in any way, allowing for a very free, very natural moving sensation when you're playing with the ball, with or without the ball. So for the weight of the Puma EvoSpeeds, the Puma EvoSpeeds actually weigh in at a very lightweight 6.8 ounces. Compared to the lightest boots on the market, which is a F50 ID0, it is perhaps 1 or just shy of 1 ounce heavier, but the difference is not that significant. In hand, these boots weigh very little, and on feet, you can't really feel them. This offers a very responsive feel and a barefoot feeling that we really like, and is correct with what Puma is trying to do in terms of making this a sort of very light kind of speed boot. So where the fit of the Puma EvoSpeed is concerned, it's actually a pretty wide boot to our surprise. In the heel, you get quite a wide heel. The midfoot is actually quite wide as well, and the toe box is actually wider than we expected. This actually allows wider footed players to try on this pair of boots, and we'd actually encourage you to do so, especially if you've been encumbered by the need to wear leather boots, mainly because your feet are a bit wider. So there are a lot of reviews out there that say this is a narrow fitting shoe, but to us we actually feel that these pair of boots are actually quite wide, and we would encourage people with wider feet to try them on. Of note, however, is how specific these pair of boots are to the Asian feet and the Asian feet anatomy. Because of such a wide midfoot, Asians generally have laxer ligaments, and because the laxer ligaments tend to have feet that are flatter, especially in the midfoot area. So because the arch is obliterated once you step down and the midfoot becomes wider, these pair of boots with this larger and wider midfoot is actually quite suitable for Asians. In addition, Asians tend to have a shorter foot as compared to Caucasians, so the extra length in other boots such as Vapors, for example, make it a bit uncomfortable for Asians to wear. In this case, however, the Puma EvoSpeed does not have that extra length. So without the extra length, it's actually perfect for the Asian feet. One other thing you'll notice about the fit, however, is that there's a very unique appearance here, if you can see. So, compared to other boots which offer a more rounded appearance, the Puma EvoSpeed actually goes in a direction that we actually applaud Puma for doing so. You can see that there's actually a protrusion here at the big toe, where the big toe is, and then it cuts off very acutely, following very naturally the curves of the rest of the toes. Now this is great because what this does is to totally conform to your foot anatomy, and because it conforms to your foot anatomy, it makes for a very responsive and one-to-one feel. So the last part of this video will focus on the local quirks for this particular pair of boots, how they apply to Singapore's climate, and how they apply to Singaporean players in general. So for these pair of boots, generally when you play on the turf, conical studs give you better penetration, and as such tend to be a bit more comfortable. There's less pressure when you actually step, in the sense that you don't feel so much of the studs, and so it's quite suitable for turf usage. There's not much drag when you lift your foot and go past the grass, the turf, and so it's again very suitable for the turf. As for the heat, because in Singapore, it's really hot here, the weather's really hot, humidity levels are really high as well. There might be issues with the glue here, but in terms of Puma EvoSpeed, if you look, the glue is actually of quite a high quality and it actually extends past the sole plate onto the material, and it just seems very solid in general. So because there's such a solid feel for this pair of boots, it's unlikely that we will encounter any durability issues. However, most of these durability issues will be touched on once you've tested these boots in a more prolonged time frame and more extended time period, and we will report any discrepancies once that video is out. So that's all for our review of the Puma EvoSpeed 1.2 firm ground. What we feel is that Puma have a winner with these pair of boots. Not only do they look great, they feel great, and they're very suited to the Asian population. They're a touch wider, which will allow wider footed players with an additional option, especially if they're looking for something that's a bit more lightweight. We will touch more on the performance aspect of these boots once we have our extended testing done for these pair of boots. Do look out for that review, and we hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.